Hey everyone, I'm Delana Culver, and today on the farm we're going to be meeting my husband Luke in the back. He's got the skid steer out there and the chainsaw, and we are going to be loading up some logs on this trailer to split later on this afternoon. And I've also got some other plans I'd like to show you with our new additions coming and preparations for that. So if you stay tuned, you'll get to see that as well. I will be speeding through part of this video because it does take a little while to get back to the back of the property, and I will give y'all a satellite view of what the whole property looks like. So this is the overview of the farm. There are 3 hay pastures, 2 grazing pastures, and 2 ponds. We do plan to stock one of those ponds in the hay pasture with bass. We'll have to do a little bit more research on that because it does freeze over sometimes, and we don't want everything to die that we put in there. If you have any recommendations for maybe breeds of fish that we could possibly try back there, please leave a comment below for us to look at. We are now coming up on the hay pastures, and this fence line did not used to look like this at all. There was probably about 5 foot of brush on both sides. You couldn't see through the fence line, but we went ahead and tackled that while we were in an agreement with the sale of the farm, because the weather was great, and this is our hay pastures, so we don't want to tear them up in the spring or the fall. So this seemed like the best opportunity to go ahead and get in there and clean them up. There's about 7 strings of barbed wire through them, so it took a good probably month and a half to get these fence lines of the hay pasture cleared out. The woods are not taken care of just yet, but that is on the to-do list. And we've also got to trim some trees back so we can get things cleared out further. So whenever we do cut hay back here, we don't have to worry about too much brush still staying there and it building up again. This pond back here that we're about to come up on, just last week, it was so neat. The pond was actually froze over, and it makes the coolest sound. I'll go ahead and insert a video here right now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Slide them. Hold on, we're gonna slide it. 1, 2, 3. That's cool, huh?
I want to slow it.
That was my son you just heard there. He just turned 3. For those of you who do not know us personally, we are located in central Kentucky, and I moved here from Texas about 5 years ago. And this family farm has been in my husband's family, from what I've been told, about 100 years. His granddad moved here when he was 8 years old. Hi, Luke. He's taking all those logs out of the woods, and we're going to load them in the trailer and bring them up front to split. If you're curious how many acres we have on this farm, it's about 160 acres, and a little less than half of it is wooded. For the last 19 years, it's been leased out, and the man who'd been leasing it, he ran his cattle on it, and he cut hay back here in these hay pastures. During the time of his lease, he did not do any improvements to the farm, and he just upkept the fence lines. He added posts where there needed to be posts. He added string to help support the post. But other than that, it's been pretty neglected for that time. So Luke and I have a lot of projects on our hands to try to get things cleaned up and in good condition. Now, this fence line looks great compared to what it used to look like, and we plan on keeping it that way. We are going to try to redo all of our fence lines at some point. That is not on our priority list for the back fence that you just saw there. But these upcoming fences, the cedar posts in the ground are pretty rotten, and they need to be replaced. So we're trying to get that done before we get cattle put on the property, which we plan to do here this fall. And we also plan on doing a couple things here this coming up spring. We are going to be getting some chickens, and we will be building a raised garden bed. If you're curious what animals we already have on the property, we have 2 horses, a dog, and a cat. So not much of a farm yet. But we are working our way up small, and we will keep everybody up to date on everything that's coming up. This is going to be the chicken coop conversion right here on the left, hopefully. So I'm inside of the garage that we plan on converting into a chicken coop. Now, I told you it wasn't predator proof. It is not. I mean, obviously you can see all of the holes that anything could get through. So it's a disaster in here. We have these huge tarps that we do plan on using for our sinkhole issues that we've got in our hay fields. So these are huge tarps. They have to come out in order for us to really see how much damage is done to the structure itself, or if it's even salvageable. If it's not salvageable, we will be tearing down the whole thing and starting all over. If we can salvage it, then we'll replace the sides, the doors, we'll put some windows in, and then I want to have a tack area up front in the first like 3-foot section, just enough where there's a little bench I could put some boots on because it's going to be muddy, and muddy around the barn. I don't want it to be muddy inside. It's going to be pretty well dry. There's going to be concrete floors that we're going to be putting. Ooh, my nose is running. There's going to be concrete floors that we will be putting inside this chicken coop, so we can keep the moisture down and it'll be easy to clean. We'll just sweep it all out. This video was taken a few days later when we had some time to clear out this shed. We took all those blue tarps out and realized that we didn't really have another place to put them, and they were in pretty bad condition. There was a whole bunch of holes already in them, so we decided to go ahead and get rid of them. We are going to be getting some quotes pretty soon on that shed to see if we can salvage it. And look at this little helper. He is obsessed with this log splitter. He loves helping out with a bunch of things, and we don't mind teaching him because we think that they're really good life lessons. He's already started driving the skid steer around and driving the side-by-side. He loves riding on the tractor, and he helps take care of all these animals. Y'all should see this pile that's coming up behind me. We have got a pretty large dent into these logs. Stay tuned.